We're speaking with Steve Erickson, the play-by-play announcer for the Greater Vancouver Canadians. After 2 periods today, what an eventful game so far. Thoughts about tonight?
Well, eventful, close contest, yes. The Greater Vancouver Canadians took the 2-0 lead after 1 period of play. They were clearly outshot in the first period of play, but they're very slowly letting the Northwest Giants back in the game. One thing they have to do is play a lot more discipline going into the 3rd period. We've talked earlier on, Kyle Yu gets penalties. Yes, he set the record for all-time goals for the Greater Vancouver Canadians, surpassing Brendan Gallagher, Evander Kane, to name 2, which is a nice record for him. But as a broadcaster, I like watching him more so on the ice than taking foolish penalties and spending his time in the penalty box. By far, when he takes penalties, he's taking himself off the productivity for the team and hurting their power play chances. Because let's face it, you can go teams into penalties whenever you want, but so far it'll be an interesting 3rd period.
You alluded to, Steve, about the penalty that Kyle Yu took earlier. So we did see a lot of rough stuff in the 2nd period. Short-handed goal by the Giants, all kinds of penalties in that period, and also a bunch of big saves by the Canadians goaltender in the 1st period.
If I touch base on that, the one thing I was impressed with, first off, let's go to Paler-Chow.
Sure.
He stepped up. Goaltender Matteo is doing exceptional. He's filling in for an injured Tyler Sugaru. And if you ask the team, he has a lower body injury. Like the National Hockey League, they're not going to tell you the extent of it. It's a lower body injury. So he's going to be out for the rest of the season. Paler-Chow, he's got the workload from here on in. He's played well. He faced a lot of key shots. When he is focused, there is nothing that young goaltender cannot stop. We talked about the shots, very, very successful. They were down after the 1st period. They come back, they got a record number. They outshot the Northwest Giants in the 2nd period, which is something that they really need to do more of. Rough stuff, yes, there was rough stuff. And I'm talking now from a referee's point of view, not a broadcaster's point of view. In all the games, the different leagues, regardless of what I've refereed, there is a way and a time and a point to referee. You can reach out and talk to the players and call them back in without talking to them all the time saying, don't do it, don't do it. Eventually, you've got to call a penalty. If you call a penalty earlier, you set your control. You call it, you tell the players, look, we're going to play the game, we're not going to do any rough stuff and no foolish stuff, and you have by far a better game. Young Mr. Campbell's doing a good job, but for my liking, it's all about game management. This is what a lot of referees, even in the National Hockey League, they have a hard time trying to grasp. When do I call it, when do I let it go? That stuff that referees, nobody can teach them that. They have to learn that themselves.
Awesome stuff, Steve. We'll talk about the Canadians a little bit. They're on a hot streak right now. 9-3-1 in the last 13 games. They have a bye next weekend before the playoffs. Would this be a good thing or a bad thing for the Canadians, given how hot they've been?
That's got pro and con. As we're doing it right now, this is game number 39. As we're doing the broadcast, the final game of the regular season, because each team plays 40 games. Yes, tomorrow we'll wrap everything up against the same Northwest Giants. But they play next weekend? No. They get a next weekend bye. And the one thing that does is that allows them to get any injuries back healthy that they're nursing. Because Lord knows they get a chance to practice and get their healthy players back. Going in, if the season finishes to right now after this game, the way the standings look, they would be playing against the Okanagan Rockets, which by all stretch of the imagination, the Rockets are a powerhouse. For whatever reason, yes, they lost players this past season, but they're in 4th place. The Canadians are in 5th place. So is that anybody's game? Yeah. The biggest difference in the standings between both the Rockets and the Canadians is goals against. The Greater Vancouver Canadians have to not take as many goals or allow as many goals on them. They have to get more productivity on the shooting aspect. If they can do that, from my point of view, I think the Okanagan Rockets can be had.
Fantastic insight as always, Steve Erickson. Good luck, or have a good broadcast in the 3rd period. We'll see what happens at the end of this game. Thanks so much.
Appreciate your time, and thanks for doing this.